On August 4th, after a few days of tweets, speculation, and numerous articles, Liquid CSGO have officially signed Grim from Triumph to replace their most tenured player, Nitro. Replacing Nitro is not a small task for the young rifler, who was just plucked from the shadows of the Tier 2 North American scene and thrust into the spotlight of one of esports' largest organizations. Nitro, throughout his 5.5 years in Liquid, has been a rifler, AWPer, and was the team's in-game leader during their streak in summer 2019 when they captured the Intel Grand Slam by winning an almost unbelievable 4 Premier tournaments in only 5 attempts. While it remains to be seen if Liquid will ask that much of the young American, it is likely that he will be asked to make an immediate impact. Most fans, commentators, and players will agree that Liquid has one of the most talented rosters, not just in North America, but the entire world, and should be competing for the trophy at every event they choose to attend. Will Grim's infusion of youth propel Liquid back to the promised land? In order to answer that question, let's find out more about Grim as a player.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
The first thing that immediately jumps out when looking at Grim's demos is his aim. North America has always been able to produce players who are excellent riflers, and Grim looks to be another player in that same mold. His aim is snappy, and it is very rare that he loses straight-up aim duels. On the CT side, Grim plays the traditional anchor position and most often sits near the back of bomb sites in order to spray down attackers as they try to get into the site. This is where Grim really shines, and you don't have to look very hard to find him spraying 2 or 3 terrorists before he finally goes down. In addition, he plays well with teammates, and while others might set him up for success, he takes every opportunity and runs with it. It's not just his spray. Grim is one of the best all-around M4 players I've seen come up in a while. He beats a lot of AKs with his aim and puts 2 bullets in an attacker's head before they even have time to get their crosshair in the right spot.
Counter-terrorists win.
Along with his dangerous M4, Grim also has a solid AK-47 and is a very good pistol player who consistently gets multi-kills at the start of every half he plays in. On the T side, Triumph has used Grim early in the round to try and cover space, push to get information, and go for picks if they present themselves. Typically, Grim ends up in the set piece with the rest of the team, where he is most often a secondary entry position whose job it is to clear out a bomb site of any remaining defenders. In this role, he could use some work as he seems to only be a mediocre entry player, and the reasons for this I'll get into later. To recap, Grim is an excellent aimer, has ridiculously good M4 and pistol skills, and does an adequate job as the cleaner during a T-side set piece. Grim's aim mechanics, while being a major strength, are also a major crutch for some other deficiencies in his play. First off, his crosshair placement needs some work. He has a bad tendency to put his crosshair in odd positions, which leads him into taking aim duels that he shouldn't have to. This doesn't get punished as much against lower skill North Americans, but against the refined play of world competition, it will be found and exploited in a hurry. On the T side, Grim shows that he is, in fact, quite a young player. Too often, and especially against veteran opposition, I found Grim outplayed. Not by someone winning an aim duel, but instead getting outplayed by positioning and use of utility. For example, in every map I've seen Grim play against MIBR, at least twice on the T side he will go for a pick early in the round and get outplayed by one of the veterans from the Brazilian squad. Part of this has to do with Grim's utility usage. While his utility usage is mostly fine, he misses far too many grenades for the level of competition that Liquid regularly will be facing. Also, his knowledge of spots to use utility seems limited, as he most often goes for standard flashes, molotovs, and smokes, and doesn't seem to have a knowledge of the more complicated throws. I previously spoke about how he plays a secondary entry position, and while his aim guarantees him certain kills, his movement during an entry scenario is very erratic, and he often doesn't check angles that are meant for him, glosses over CTs that are in angles he does check, and his inefficient crosshair placement make him a largely inconsistent fragger in these scenarios. Fortunately, these problems might fix themselves with time and experience at a higher level of competition. Most of Liquid's players are veterans of the game and should be available to assist his development in the team. To summarize the negatives, crosshair placement needs work, movement could be more tight. On the T side, the game still moves very fast for him, and he should study and practice more utility. Grim is a player that is a pure prospect. His game shows a lot of upside, but there is a lot of rough around the edges, and it might take some time in several tournaments before he really feels comfortable. I do believe that he will make an immediate impact on Liquid's CT sides and should shore up whatever bomb sites they put him on. On the T side, I'm not sure where Grim's place is going to be. While attacking, Liquid doesn't use a lot of pure tactical Counter-Strike, so Grim is going to have to get better at fending for himself, or he is going to need to practice a lot of utility so he can set up others. If Liquid wanted to go with pure firepower, Grim is one of the best pickups they could have made. However, I don't feel like this solves a lot of their major issues. Stewie hasn't been a transformative in-game leader, and their star players too often disappear in important maps. By looking for another potential superstar player, Liquid have again doubled down on going for pure skill as opposed to taking a chance on a shot caller who could improve their tactics. I don't know if the players are dictating these changes, if management had to make a last-second change to replace a player on his way out the door, or if this was a thought-out plan, but it seems single-minded. I find it very unlikely that Liquid will return to their 2019 form with fragging alone. Their sublime run happened at a time when top competitors Astralis and Na'Vi were missing many tournaments, and several players in Liquid took turns having career-best runs of form, often at the same time. It is possible that Elige, Twist, Snaf, and Stewie get some much-needed motivation with the addition of a new player who is hungry for success at the highest level. The problem is that Liquid is completely one-dimensional. They either shoot everyone in the head or they exit the tournament disappointed. My personal prediction for Liquid is that the first couple tournaments they perform more or less the same as before, getting into playoffs but losing in the semi or quarterfinals. After the adjustments are made with Grim, they will hit a decent run of form where they will perform better than before, perhaps even capturing a tournament victory since teams are region locked due to the pandemic. But it's hard for me to imagine a world in which they get much higher than the bottom half of the top 10 on HLTV's ratings. They are just too one-dimensional, and they will be hurt by only playing in North America for the near future. However, They will be dangerous dark horses at every tournament they play, and if the right players are in good form, they could easily show up to a LAN and blow everyone off the server.
Counter-terrorists win.
This is my first player profile. If you've taken the time to watch the entire thing, please like, comment, and subscribe. I would like to continue making these videos, and I want to get better at it too. So if you have any constructive criticism, please feel free to leave a comment below. Thank you, and have a nice day.